So, a lot has been accomplished in the garden today. I love how I just started that conversation in the middle of nothing. Anyways, a lot has happened today. I got a lot of it mowed. There's still a lot left to mow. I ran out of gas and we were out of gas. Greg and I were both mowing, so we had to go to town. So now we have gas and I can finish mowing. So I was out here working earlier today and I found 8 cantaloupe. So the other day I noticed, I was watching back the video and I was like, oh my gosh, there's a cantaloupe right there in the corner and I missed it. Let's look at it. Okay, so we know about my 2 beauties right here that are just growing and they look beautiful, those 2. And then right here, oop, I broke a vine. Right here, right in the corner, there's another one growing. Never even noticed it. And it's killing me about this research that I did on pruning the vines and cutting off old fruit, and I didn't even have to do it. Just nature is taking its own course. All right, so okay, there's 1, there's 2, 3, 4, and my beauty, 5. And I've also learned exactly when I know to harvest them. Super excited. So my mom added me to this group on Facebook. It's for our zone, whatever, like, I don't even know if the world is broken up in zones or just the United States is broken up in zones, but whatever. We're in zone 8A, I think. 8A, I don't know. Anyways, somebody was talking about cantaloupe. She was like, I'm a first-time gardener and I don't know when I'm supposed to harvest my cantaloupe. And I was like, girl, same. I have no idea. So I was reading the comments and they said, super easy, everything that's green turns yellow and the stem dies. When the stem dies, look, take it. And I was like, that's easy. I can definitely remember that. So now we're over here at the peppers. Let's look. My pepper's getting deformed because it's growing between the Y. And there's nothing I can do about it. So let's look at our peppers. These are beautiful bell peppers. They're actually starting to change colors. And I've seen a lot of people in this group talk about how long, they say it takes about as long for the bell peppers to change colors as it does for them to grow. I don't really know because I forget a lot of stuff, but I feel like these things are growing or changing colors pretty quickly. And I've got my 3 seeded from Corbin. Went ahead and put them in the ground. Talked about those. That's the one that I ripped out the other day. Then we've got the gypsy peppers, and man alive, those things are just all over the place. My banana peppers, they just blossomed out of the middle of nowhere. We've had a ton of rain. The mint is looking spectacular, and look at all of these blooms we're having right here on the serrano. There's going to end up being a lot of peppers on this plant. This is the cayenne. I know we saw it. We looked at it the other day. Wait, is this the cayenne? The habanero. No, this is the one that hasn't bloomed. This is the cayenne. There was those 3 right there together. There's a few more blooms at the top. My jalapeno Christmas tree. I'm a little confused by this guy because these are already turning and they're really dark, and the couple at the bottom are turning, but they're just so small, and I'm not sure what to think about that. And then we've got these peppers here. This is the one we first started growing on, and then there's several peppers in there. My mom's already seeded some more zucchini and squash. So I read in this Garden Zone group that the squash bug and the leaf bug, whatever they're called, their season's almost over. So everybody was like, just scrap what you've got and start over. So I was like, I'm game for that. I'm gonna still see if I can get whatever I can. There's some of them nasty little critters, and I don't have my gloves, so I can't kill them. Hopefully those 2 squash I'll probably harvest those tomorrow. I had this zucchini that I was letting grow, but I think that the vine bugs may have killed it. This guy still looks decently healthy, but there's no fruit on it. And they pretty much, I guess they're just snacking away at that. You can see I didn't get everything mowed. It's bits and pieces. It was so high out here. I was just mowing in crazy patterns trying to get through the thick stuff because the mower gets all bogged down. But I got a lot of it mowed today. And there's still a lot that needs to be mowed. Greg's out there cutting trees down. I am supposed to be picking up tree limbs right now. So, Mom harvested some blackberries off this beauty the other day, which was nice. There was only a few, so I fed them to the chickens. This bush, I need to pick Corbin's brain about it because this bush just stopped producing. There's no buds. It's growing like crazy, but there's no buds. There's no nothing on it. So, not really sure about that. I got some grass to pull out here. There's our watermelons. That one really sprouted up, and this one's just slowly right behind it. When I was mowing out here today, I threw these bricks down, and a rat snake, I threw one of the bricks on one, apparently, and there was a rat snake that was stuck up underneath a brick, and he was going crazy. I don't know where he's at now, hopefully. Rat snakes are good snakes, so I'm not too worried about it. So this bed, I don't remember what I was going to put in it because what I was going to put in it died. So now it's just been overtaken and I don't even know what these weird things are. So probably Google to try to figure that out. And the grass underneath my skirting is so high. But Greg and I have a plan for getting, this is going to be the compost and this is going to be the mulch. So we've got, his parents let us borrow their dump trailer. And we're going to be using it next weekend to do some gravel work on the driveway and over at Mom's. So we're going to, I told Greg if we have time, I want to try to get a dump from the recycle center of the mulch with that dump trailer so that I can fill this bin so that I can start mulching all around my beds so that I don't have to worry about weeding it all the time. Of course, that's just scary. All right, let's look at the okra. I did harvest a couple okras earlier today, and I did go ahead and trim up the rest of the bushes because we seeded some okras in here. I moved them around to the edges. I'm worried they're not going to get enough sun, so I tried to move them as far out. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That one just barely is budded out. The seed pack is still on it. 9, 10 of them. So we're probably about to have a ton of okra. But hopefully with me putting them around the outside right here, they'll get enough sun and they'll grow up and they won't be so shaded by these big boys. And then I saw them earlier. There's one. Big old cucumbers on the vine. There's that one. And this one, I don't even know what to think about this one. It's growing very awkwardly. It's super fat at the top and just tiny skinny at the bottom. So I don't know if it's like trying to fill out. I'm leaving it on there. I need to seed everything with Sevin Dust. Excuse me. I need to seed everything with, sprinkle everything with Sevin Dust. So this, I already know what this is because I had it in the patch before. This is a mold fungus that's growing, and it's actually a good one, so I'm not too worried about it. These apparently are something seed I found out that I've thrown in there earlier in the season. Oh, look at that little pickle. Looks like one of them little gherkins. But I was digging through here earlier, and this thing is just bushed out even more. But, I mean, that's what it does. It's real hard sometimes to find the fruit on it. So, anywho, then the tomatoes. We harvested a bunch of tomatoes. I think it was yesterday, maybe. And then there were several out here on the ground. And so I don't know if maybe the birds came in, because we didn't even take all of them that were blushing the other day. And I noticed when I was out here earlier that there really wasn't a whole lot that was blushing, which was a little odd. My basil looks fantastic. Probably sometime this week I'm going to take about maybe a third of that. And, well, maybe not this bed. Maybe I put it in this bed. I was thinking about planting some of the basil. Maybe right there. I got to make sure it's going to get enough sun. It'll get pretty good sun. So the sun comes up, right there. So it'll have sun or it'll have shade until it gets to about right here. And then the sun goes down. I think the sun is you could see it on the horizon. I'm pretty sure the ball of fire is actually right there. So from here down, it'll have the sun from directly up here, and then it'll have shade from that. So I don't even know why I felt the need to go through and explain all that. And who is ready for some salad? I am super excited to eat this. I'm also a little bit scared. What? All right, I'm almost done. I'll come help you. Asparagus looking good, looking real good. I did notice today, though, that on some of these stems, they're turning black inside. This one's a good one. They're turning black inside. So that, to me, told me that my onions weren't successfully transplanted. And I pulled one up, very quickly discovered that the roots did not re-root. So they were just sitting in the dirt the whole time. So hopefully we don't have any rain, but I'm going to let them dry like this for a day or two. And then I'll tie them up and hang them where I hung my garlic. This bed is still empty. Got to decide what I'm going to put in there. I got some celery seeds today, so I'm really excited about that. We still are growing the last few beets. The last few beets are still growing. This is empty at the moment. Our carrots, shallots, and green onions were plucked, so this is empty at the moment. This is where we're growing our ginger root, of course. We already saw my cantaloupe. These are the radishes, and right here in the center somewhere is the cilantro. So I was going to do it today, but we did a whole lot, so I was a little tired. That's odd. That's broken. So I was going to do it today, but we had a lot of stuff to take care of, so it didn't get done. Maybe tomorrow, or I don't know. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in and separate out these clusters. So since these are radishes, they're going to need the space to bulb. I might look it up and I might not, but there is a lot of them in here. So definitely need to take care of that. And one of our projects today was we stacked 6 pallets up in each tank high, so that when we're watering, we're going to have a better water flow. This one is lower, but it's because it doesn't have the bottom stand. So this is not on this one. So what we did was we took a shorty pallet and stuck it in there. And then Greg rigged up this nice little faucet contraption for me. So you pull these out. It's got 2 little ears on it. You pull these out and you pop it off and on, and it'll go on any tank we have. So and then we've also got this contraption that can also go on one, but it screws onto the thread. So this one is a fine thread, and that one and the other 2 were not fine thread. They were coarse thread, so it didn't quite fit. But now with that little thing, I can do any of them. So, and as you can see, I didn't get to here. I didn't quite get in between all of the beds. Whew. Back there was a little bit scary. So I did manage, it's going to be funny when I say this, that while that looks really heavy, I did manage to get just about all of the heavy stuff, which was pretty much all right through here and especially over there at the fence. We didn't, we haven't weed eated on the outside yet. Greg was trying to get everything mowed. So I got some of the weed eating done and then I ran out of gas and then I just got mad because everything was running out of gas and I was just done. But we got the whole backyard done, so our doggos have plenty of place to roam and run. And oh, there's one out there. That white one, that's Gage. And then that tiny little nugget. Tilly! Hold! There's a hot fence. They can't quite come through. That Tilly. Whew, man alive. She's a crazy one. So, anyways, short and sweet today because now I gotta go help the husband pick up all the tree limbs that he just cut down. I tried to stay busy long enough that I didn't have to do it, but I mean, I could definitely keep talking. I just really don't have anything to say. I mean, when does that ever stop me? So, I'll see you next time.